twice a year to talk about the findings from our semi-annual lot price survey. And we had some pretty interesting findings this year. Before I dive into those, I just want to remind you who I am. I'm Steve Smollett. I'm president of CDS Community Development Strategies. And if that's not a company name you're familiar with, that's because we did a little bit of rebranding around the time of the holidays, where we kept the CDS part but changed out the market research for community development strategies in order to be a little bit more reflective of what we do and what our capabilities are. We also updated our website. If you haven't been there, I really invite you to come see it. It's a great website, cdsmr.com. And we try to keep that fairly fresh. We have a newsworthy section on there where we're trying to provide some new content on an at least weekly basis to keep you interested. And we think it's a good new look. We changed our logo a little bit, so we're all but an entirely new company, right? In any case, one thing that has not changed at all is our semi-annual lot price survey, which hopefully you received an email from Ty earlier today to let you know that the new one is now available for access on our online, if you're an online subscriber. And I'm going to go through a summary of a few of the things that we learned from this time around from this edition, which are pretty interesting. Okay, just a reminder, we do our lot price survey based on a set of geographic sectors. There are 5 sectors that we divide the Houston region into and summarize the data at that level. So, you can do reports based on sectors or be more flexible even than that if you wish. We have west, northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest as depicted on the map that's on the screen right now. We're going to start off with what's been happening to lot prices in the Northeast sector. The Northeast sector is one that's really emerged over the last several years as since the glory days of Kingwood, sort of slipped back into a bit of obscurity, but in the last several years we've had a lot of activity in that sector of the region along Lake Houston and further up 59 in the East Montgomery County area. And that's a bit reflected in the trends in lot prices that we've seen from a year ago to now, where we're getting pretty substantial price increases across the size spectrum, but especially at the larger lots. And notice that because you're going to see something different in many of the other sectors. So Northeast really seems to be kind of on its own trajectory right now. So pretty interesting trend. When we switch to Northwest, you can see that things are looking a little bit different. We do have some increases, but they're much more moderate. And of course, the Northwest sector being a little more exposed to what's happening in upstream oil and gas, so it's going to be affected by some of those economic conditions. Southeast, on the other hand, is a little less exposed to upstream oil and gas. If anything, it's more downstream oil and gas, aerospace sector, the medical sector, and just other things that are going on. And it remains, a strong market for getting lot price increases right now. Not quite as dramatic as what we saw in the Northeast, but still some pretty decent increases. Southwest sector, on the other hand, notice that the largest, our 80-foot lot sample, actually showed a decrease in prices. And that sort of echoes the theme of the idea that again, this is a market that has some exposure to what's going on with upstream oil and gas employment. And so you are having a bit of a softening at the higher end of the market, and continued strength at some of the lower price points and lower lot prices and sizes. Here's the West sector, obviously the most exposed to upstream oil and gas, energy corridor market, etc. This is where we've seen the most dramatic shift. So you across all the larger lot sizes, you're seeing pretty dramatic price decreases as the market, which had been very, very strong. You had lots of very well-paid new employees moving to that market, buying houses and so on. Well, that's kind of ended. And of course, that means that demand for lots is going to shift to some of the lower price points. And so you see some the 50-foot lots maintaining some price strength, but sizes above that starting to decrease, in fact, substantially just during the last year. And have to think that that might be continuing for a while as things shift to more affordable price points and smaller lot sizes. Comparing conventional subdivisions versus master plan communities, you can see that traditionally master plan communities have had a lot price premium. In the last, in the most recent edition, you see for the largest lot sizes, there is not a price premium. Those 80-foot lots that we've for the data sample we have of that, the price premium does remain for the remaining lot sizes in this sample. Interesting, but probably also a reflection of the times. As far as what's been happening in terms of price trends within master plan communities, you can see that we have January 2014, 2015, 2016 editions of our lot price survey, and in many respects, 2015 represented basically a peak. And of course, that data would have been for the 2015. The January data basically represents, the end of the previous year. So, really late 2014, that was pretty much a peak. And we're seeing, especially the larger lot sizes, things are starting to decrease price-wise right now. And the way things are looking, that softness is likely to continue. However, at the bottom end of the market, prices are not as soft or managing to hold up. And it's not all about the people buying houses are not exclusively employed by engineering firms and oil companies and things like that. You also have, with all the population growth we've had in the region, you have lots of other industries that are, in economic development terms, non-basic. So you have healthcare, you have retail, you've got local services, education, all those other things that do employ people. Those people may not be getting the same kinds of salaries that oil companies were hiring at a couple years ago, but they still make enough to buy houses, and that's where the strength in the market is going to be. Hence the shift down towards the strength in the market being at some of the smaller, more affordable lot price points. Conventional subdivisions, again, the top end of the market showing the softness, while the lower end of the market is still holding up. So this is applying across both the master plan communities and the other subdivisions. So some of the key observations that we had out of this particular edition of LPS. We're getting a shift in where some of the bulk of the lot development is moving to. The Northeast developing a larger share of new lots, while, for example, the West Side, as again, upstream oil and gas slowing down, so a larger share of the data, a smaller share of the data sample this time. We're not 100% data sample. We don't get every single lot that's out there being developed, but we get a broad enough sample that it should indicate general trends in the market. Lot price trends, again, the smaller lot sizes, 50, 65 foot and below, basically being where the price strength remains. The larger lot sizes, definitely soft right now. Master plan community prices kind of showing some stagnation, but the smallest lots in there still holding up price-wise. We still have the master plan community premium, about 12.1%. The largest difference being in some of the mid-size lots. So that hasn't changed. And again, larger lot sizes are where we're seeing the greatest softness in prices. And again, the pain is not equally shared. The Southwest sector is now taking the lead in pricing, where it used to be the West sector. You know, the west sector is where we saw the greatest softness in those prices, the greatest decreases since last year. So now the southwest sector has, on average, the most expensive lots. Still, the west and northwest sector are generally ahead of the other sectors, southeast and east side. But you know, you look at what's happening in northeast. You think they're going to start catching up here pretty quick. And the strongest price increase is also seen in the northwest sector. So that kind of summarizes our findings for the current year. For those of you that are not LPS subscribers, you know, a few years ago we did switch to an online product from a hard copy, and so it's a really great site. It allows you to be able to do a lot of sorting and analysis by lot width, by sector, geographic sector, by subdivision, and various other characteristics. So you can really do a lot of analysis for yourself, and that's something that's new without having to sort of hand scribble calculations that you were copying out of a hard copy and then tapping keys on a calculator. So we think it's a very useful evolution, and probably overdue. We also have some mapping capabilities in there to allow you to identify specific subdivisions used in our sample, to give you a better sense of where the sample that we're taking, you know, is located. And if you have any further questions, if you're not a subscriber and are interested in becoming one, please let us know. You can talk to me, or especially talk to Kent Dusair. Where are you, Kent? Oh, he's hiding back there. All right. With the beer, I'm sure, and he'll be happy to get you set up, and we certainly hope that you continue to find our product useful. And we are not just the lot price survey. We know that all of you here have some relationship to the single-family development industry, but we do a lot more than that. We do market studies, market feasibility, and demand analysis across a range of land use sectors. In addition to the MUD studies and Bond App market studies that you know us for in the single-family arena, but we also do highest and best use and market opportunity analysis for vacant land that can cover a range of land uses. Third-party feasibility studies, objective analysis for the potential for any kind of development, typical development project that could be retail, single-family, multifamily, industrial, office, etc. Student housing is another niche that we have. We also do a lot of public sector work, dealing with planning projects for those land uses, can get involved in economic development analysis, where our capabilities are particularly useful. We have strong GIS capabilities, so we've really upped our game on being able to use mapping analysis to produce our results. And you know, back in the residential arena, you know, we have a lot of capabilities to even look at non-conventional types of residential, a whole range of lot sizes, a whole range of different residential products, from large lot to small lot detached to townhomes to condos. All of that we have the capability to analyze, and so any of you who get involved in the mixed-use arena or sort of multi-product residential projects, you know, we can help you. So with that, I'm going to conclude our presentation.